It's 2 AM, I've got a beer, let's talk about patch 13. Yeah, we're getting rid of regular intros, we're just doing whatever I like. In this video, I'll be talking about patch 13, I will go over the patch notes, but I will be also talking about the new events thing that is happening, which is kind of a terrible name for it. It's Bethesda.events kind of thing. You'll find out when we get there. This video is more than just the patch notes. I will, of course, leave links to everything I'm referencing in the description. There'll be 3 separate links, I believe. So there's a lot of stuff here, basically. And because there's so much, let's just get straight onto it. Let's start with the first thing, some map improvements. You boot up the map in Fallout 76 in adventure mode. I assume it's the same in survival mode, I didn't check because I don't play it. But boot it up in adventure mode and you'll see the map looks a little different. Primarily, the thing that will stand out are the event markers and camp markers as well. You'll see they're a bit more cartoony, they're much bigger, much bolder, stand out a lot more. You'll be able to see from the footage far better than I'm explaining. Regular events now stand out more, and just, I think it's a good thing to make it easier to fast travel to places, rather than accidentally clicking on the person, or a nearby location or whatever. All good. As well as standard events, we also have public events, which are shown by an exclamation mark in an even bigger event symbol on the map. Now these differ in a fair few ways. First up, it is free to fast travel to them. Standard events you still need to pay caps if you want to fast travel to, just like you used to before. These public events, which are the bigger, more important ones, are free to fast travel to. When you click on them to fast travel to them, you'll get some info telling you how difficult it is, what type of mission, and how many people are there, and how long it's been going on for. This gives you a good idea of whether or not you should fast travel over, how likely it is to succeed or fail, because if there's like the encrypted going on, and there's one person there and it's been going on for 12 minutes, probably not worthwhile heading over. But if it's only just started and there's 12 people there, get over sharpish, help out, all good. I very much like this info screen, it is one of the things I was most hyped for this patch, and it's awesome. You also will get an announcement in the top left, similar to when Scorched Earth or anything happened. This is now for all of the public events, you'll get an announcement telling you, bum bum bum, it's there. It only triggers after level 7, once you've left the vault, and it won't trigger if you're doing a vault raid, but other than that, it will pop up telling you, hey, public event has started. This is very helpful, because public events now have a shared cooldown. After one ends, there's a timer that has to tick down before the next one starts. I estimate it's an hour or somewhere close to it, judging by the fact it took me close to an hour before the next event triggered, before the previous one, which I missed, had happened. There are some exceptions to this, which is Scorched Earth, Encrypted, and anything seasonal, for example, Meat Week or Fastnacht. Any of those don't have the same cooldown. I mean, it makes sense for Scorched Earth and Encrypted because those are ones we trigger specifically. At this point you're probably wondering, what are the public events versus the standard events? Fortunately, I have a list of all the public events in alphabetical order for you, so take note, and do remember these are in the patch notes if you want reference for them. They are Campfire Tales, Distinguished Guests, Encrypted, Feed the People, Free Range, Guided Meditation, Heart of the Swamp, Jailbreak, Line in the Sand, Load Bearing, One Violent Night, Path to Enlightenment, Project Paradise, Scorched Earth, Swarm of Suitors, Tea Time, and Uranium Fever. That is a lot. There's a lot of public events, and keep in mind only one of these will ever be going on at a time. What this means is that it's a lot more likely that the event will be completed successfully. Everyone on the server will get told about it, everyone's likely to jump over. But it's great for stuff like Project Paradise, which we needed a server-wide notification for, because you pretty much have to have multiple people there just to get any chance of completing it most of the time, and the more the better. However, for stuff like Guided Meditation and Feed the People, which you'll see a lot of footage in this video, because that's one I happen to get, getting that event rather than any of the others is a real pain, because that means you do Feed the People, then you basically have to wait an hour just for something like Uranium Fever or One Violent Night to pop up. So it's going to be a lot harder to farm some of these events like we would. Server hopping is likely going to be happening a lot with people who are wanting to farm these events, so that is something to get used to. Now, something they didn't include in this patch, but which they did mention they're working on, is a reward system that is based on how you perform in the event. So this is something which would incentivise better play during the event. So the other day I was doing Encrypted, if you're on the... Yeah, Encrypted, If you're on my Discord server, you'll have seen me moan that I was having to be like the only conduit at the start because nobody knew what they were doing. So I would get the best rewards, theoretically, because I was doing the most important thing there. Additionally, if you're an AFK player who just goes to an event and does nothing, then maybe you don't get any rewards, or maybe you just get very small rewards. That is something they're working on though, so that is not included yet, but they did make note of it, sorry. That was quite a big event, big change, big whatever, it's big in it. So let's go over some stuff which isn't quite so big. For starting with energy weapons, they now gain armor penetration effects, such as anti-armor legendary. So if you have an anti-armor Gauss rifle, that's now actually going to be better than just a standard Gauss rifle. This is something that should have been done a while ago, but it is sorted now. Your anti-armor legendaries work. Sweet. You can also now get the plan for a hazmat suit. You can buy it from a Responders vendor, and you should not buy it. I bought it. You can't craft it. Even after learning the plan, it doesn't let you craft it. This is clearly a bug that they need to fix. I just hope that when they fix it, it gives those of us who bought the plan and learned the plan the actual recipe straight away, rather than having to buy it again, or, even worse potentially, not be able to buy it at all. So do not buy the hazmat suit plan yet, until there's been some word of it actually working. Or otherwise you just wasted money on something you can't actually craft. Prime receivers have received a buff. They now deal 35% bonus damage to scorched enemies, whereas previously they did 25%. Personally, I think this is a very good thing, seeing as prime receivers were quite costly in terms of ammo and how often you were needing flux, so having them deal more damage to the scorch while still keeping the same base damage, definite good thing. Something else, which is a definite good thing, is the casual lining under armor plan is for sale from the Free States vendors. This is... which rank was this? I think this was the protective rank is now for sale from Free States vendors. This wasn't previously and prevented you from ranking up any casual linings to their maximum, such as military fatigues, or a new one, which I'm going to go into a bit later, because that's another thing that's been added. But this is good. Go to a Free States vendor, you can buy it, upgrade your under armor better. Not sure if you can get shielded, but I think you can once this one's unlocked. Just need to check on that. Something else that got included, which is great for everyone I guess, except for a few people seem unhappy about it, is small backpacks. They can now be crafted. If you want to know about that, I have a video on it, which was the video I released yesterday at this point. There'll be a link to it in the cards and description probably, so just go check that out. Small backpacks, a million times easier to craft than the big ones. Now onto the Purveyor, who has new legendaries for sale. The Sheepsquatch Club, Staff, Shepherd's Crook, Fixer and Bear Arm are all available at the Purveyor as random legendaries, providing you're able to already craft the basic variants. So this is the kind of thing where if you've done the free range event a lot, you might be able to craft Sheepsquatch Clubs, Staffs and Shepherd's Crooks. So you might be able to get them as Purveyor legendaries now. And if you've done Project Paradise a lot, you might get Bear Arm. And for the Fixer, Encrypted. And if you need guide on the Fixer, I also made a guide on that. I'll try and link that as well if I remember, but it's very late so I might forget, so just bug me in the comments if I haven't done that. So yeah, I personally am really excited to potentially see from the Purveyor a legendary Fixer, like a freestyle legendary Fixer. I will definitely be trying to get at some point. However, they didn't say that these legendaries also drop from like legendary enemies or as event rewards, so it might just be exclusive to the Purveyor. That would be a bit annoying to me, but I can still handle it. Something that people are incredibly happy about is the Atom Shop points have been removed from train stations. Me personally, I didn't really care either way about them, but they have gone now, which is at least Bethesda bending to the will of the community, which is nice to see. Because there was just so many people unhappy about this. No one really was like, oh my god, I love the Atom Shop train points, they are so amazing. So yeah, getting rid of them, probably a good move on Bethesda's behalf to keep a little bit of faith. Now, Vault 94, you now get bonus XP from completing it, which is nice, because the XP was a real problem there, but oh wait, the problem with the XP was the enemies. I went into Vault 94, you still get practically no XP for killing enemies in there. It's had a very minor boost overall, like you get, I think, a maximum 2,000 XP or 3,000 XP for completing the thing, which isn't that much considering how many enemies you have to kill. It's still not good for leveling, it's just fractionally better than it was before, and there's no word on the losing all your inventory items bug, which I know someone in the community here had happened to them and put on put up a couple of videos about it happening to them, which absolutely sucks. So, Vault 94, fractionally better now, but still worth it? Difficult to say. Something that has been improved, which you basically need at this point, is the camera, the in-game camera, the physical one you hold rather than the photo mode, which is a million times better, which you acquire from the bucket list quest. There is now a marker for finding the camera initially. If you saw my video I posted on this months ago when it first came out, you basically need to find a dead person at one of these random locations who may or may not be there to get a camera off of them. It's a nightmare, it's hours of server hopping normally. Now you can craft yourself a personal terminal, which is free in the Atom Shop, just go and get it for free. Craft yourself a personal terminal at your camp, and select the automated alerts, then download the coordinates for the suspicious person to get them to show up on the map as a map marker for a quest. If you've already done the bucket list quest, this won't work, but if you need to get the in-game camera, this is great, do it, it's way better than server hopping. Next up, let's get on to some depressing news, because we had a good one mixed in there, so yeah, we're just going good and bad, good and bad. So, 2 new items have been added to the game. A collector bot station and a refrigerator, which is cool. The fridge allows you to make food spoil 50% less slower, or 50% slower, 50% less faster, sorry. And you make it and you mark it as you would with like vending or the like. And collector bots are these robots you can put at your camp and they'll just search out for junk. Haven't got them myself, but apparently they just get like a little bit of junk here and there, so they're nothing amazing. And they're both in the Atom Shop. They're not added into the game, they're added into the Atom Shop. I believe it's 500 for one and 700 for another. So there's a lot of talk at the moment online about how pay to win this is. And at this point I would like to clear up one thing, which is the term pay to win does not always necessarily mean you pay money and this happens. It's really just shorthand for you can use real money, like real world dollars or pounds or euros or I can't think of the fourth one off the top of my head, yen or whatever else, to get something in the game that other players who do not spend money cannot get their hands on. That's really what it's about. So if you want a refrigerator in your camp, yes, you can get it through atoms that you've earned in-game, which is good, and it's not exorbitantly expensive, even though it's still a little on the expensive side, but not too much. But it's regardless of your opinion on how pay-to-win it is, it's generally leaving a bit of a bad taste in most people's mouths that this has been put in just in the Atom Shop as a utility item. Anyway, enough of that, let's not get this all depressing. Let's move on to now the crafting menu, which is actually a little depressing at points. It now tells you for weapons how many mods you have left to unlock, which you'll see in the video here. However, it doesn't tell you what mods you have to unlock, which is a bit of a pain, because it really just lets you know, oh, something's left to unlock. Also doesn't tell you if scrapping items of the same kind will unlock that, or if you definitely need to learn the plans elsewhere. It's annoying. It's like a little better, but it doesn't actually let you know properly what mods you have to unlock. So maybe you're missing a bayonet from your combat shotgun. That's the only mod you're missing, so you get like 20 combat shotguns, craft them all, scrap them all down. Don't unlock that. It's a change. It's not as great as I thought it was going to be. There have also been a whole bunch of bug fixes, but I've been recording for like 15 minutes now, so I'm not going to go through them all. The patch notes are in the description. I had a quick skim through. The only one which really stood out to me is when you're connecting wires now, you won't accidentally jump apparently, which is great to see. Everything else was very specific to one point or another. They haven't fully fixed the power armor bug. That is something they stated before the patch even went live. You can still crash in power armor, which sucks. They are working on it though. Apparently it is a real problem they're struggling with. So that is much less a case of, oh, screw you Bethesda, it's rather a case of, man, the devs are just really struggling to get this thing fixed, and it's being a right problem for everyone. So whilst you're suffering, the devs are suffering with it as well. Keep that in mind. We're all miserable. Yay! Let's go over to Nuclear Winter, because there's a ton of good stuff in that now. Nuclear Winter is now on a new map, which is Morgantown, which you'll see up here on the screen. It's got the airport, it's got, like, the estate, it's got Grafton's Dam and Steel and stuff. It's got some locations. Like, I've been around it a fair bit, I've played a lot of it now, a good few hours I'd say. It's a really nice map, I love it way more than the previous one. All of the matches will be just on this match, or just on this map, sorry. However, they have included the word temporarily there, which makes me think that maybe we'll cycle week to week, or you could be put on one of two maps, who knows. But for the time being, it's just the Morgantown map. I would definitely advise you jump in and give it a try. There are more people than ever playing now, go give it a go. We'll talk more about that later on at the end. There are new enemies in this map as well. The Grafton Monster and Rad Scorpions both just are in this map, and they're pretty cool enemies to run across. The Grafton Monster is very tough to kill, but doesn't seem to be too powerful, and Rad Scorpions are surprisingly weak. Like, I punched one to death when I spawned in next to it. They're not too much to go up against. There's also two new weapons, the Assaultron Head and the Gorse Rifle. These both kinda suck, in my opinion. Like, you might be able to do well with them, there might be some pro strats I'm missing, but I gave each of them a try, and they're not that great. The Assaultron Head in particular is a pain to just charge up, doesn't give you infinite rads, which is nice, and the Gorse Rifle just isn't accurate enough in my opinion. As a bonus incentive to jump into Nuclear Winter and play, there are some new rewards which are shown in the character section of the challenges menu. So go into there and you'll see it tells you, I think first of all it's like, earn 250 experience points in Nuclear Winter. In total, to get all 5 of the rewards, I believe it's either 3,000 or 3,500. That's not too much, to be fair. Generally in a match, even if you do fairly badly, you'll be making like 1 to 200 XP. If you do well in a team, you could maybe get as close as, I'd say like 750 would be a reasonable amount for doing well in a team. So if you can get a team together, just play for a few hours straight, just in the evening with a team, you'll get this. And what you get are free camp decorations, and that's free as in the number. I know I can't pronounce it differently. There's a diploma telling you you've graduated from VTU. There is a little poster for VTU, Vaultec University that is, and there's a little wall flag thingy for it which has a fancy name which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, but you already heard how bad I am at speaking. Additionally, you get a Nuclear Winter jacket, which I really like, and I'm switching out for my Greaser jacket and jeans. It's pretty badass, I love it. And a Nuclear Winter Under Armour, which is a casual lining piece. So you get a bright Vault 51 Under Armour. I am very happy with all that stuff. Huge thanks to my squad for helping me get all of that stuff. Go, you lot, yay! Final change is global matchmaking, and this is the biggest of them all. Previously, you would only get match made with people who are in kind of the same area as you. This often led to us getting no matches. In fact, at the time I'm recording, matches tended to go dead. Just, I'd say an hour ago, this happened where we were in a match with 52 people. I have not seen that since the mode launched. There are now people everywhere. It is great. You have a much better chance of getting matches full stop and getting matches with more people. It's perfect. This is also partially due to the fact that there's a new map and new stuff going on, so people are hyped, so more people in there. But regardless, I think the lowest number I saw was like mid-30s playing, so you're probably going to get more people and more matches consistently, which is great. The worry is worse lag, but I haven't seen too much of that, to be fair. It feels alright. That's something to keep an eye on as it goes by, though, because if, for example, I'm in the UK, if I got connected with most people who were in Australia, connection wouldn't be great. But regardless, overall it's a good thing, better chances of getting new matches. Now let's go on to the secret hidden thing, Bethesda community events, yay! We now have community challenges, which is going to take a bit of explaining, and apologies if it doesn't entirely make sense. Once again, links in the description. So first up we have Project Clean Appalachia, or Appalachia, don't know how to pronounce it. So from now until the 23rd, there is a big community challenge going on with multiple stages and rewards. So first up, there's a double XP weekend from September 12th to the 16th. This is something we're all familiar with, earn double XP in Survival, Adventure, and Nuclear Winter, nice. The more important and bigger thing though is the Clears the Skies community challenge, going from the 10th, which is, well, yesterday at this point, to the 23rd, and the challenge is to kill 100,000 Scorch Beasts. Now, this is not an individual challenge. Do not think that in less than 2 weeks you need to be killing 100,000 Scorch Beasts on your own. This is something which the entire community is doing, and there's this little tracker, which is on the Bethesda events page, which is once again linked in the description, which will track how many Scorch Beasts the community of Fallout 76 as a whole has killed. So, between all of us we need to kill 100,000 Scorch Beasts. I don't know how many people are playing, but if each of us kills like 10 Scorch Beasts, that only needs 10,000 people to do it. I reckon we can manage that. Still, Scorch Beast hunting party's definitely going to be a go. Now, for completing this challenge, there will be some rewards. First up, Meat Week will return September 26th to 29th if we kill the 100,000 Scorch Beasts. That's great. If you missed it last time, Graham, big cookout, tons of fun. There's also stretch goals included as well. So let's say we maybe kill 250,000 Scorch Beasts, or 1,000,000 Scorch Beasts, or something crazy like that. The stretch goals are a Scorch Beast player icon, shown on screen, looks awesome. A curly bun hairstyle, probably doesn't suit me, might suit your character. And an extension of Meat Week from the 3rd instead of the 29th, so it's an actual week rather than a weekend which it would be otherwise. This is all really cool. Do something you already do in game as a community, get rewarded for it, love it, want more of it in the game, good for you Bethesda. This is a smart move. There's also going to be after this the Take Out the Trash Community Challenge from October 1st to October 14th, which requires us to kill 8 million Scorched. Now, I'm not sure if this is any Scorched enemies or just the Scorched themselves and the humanoid, but either way, 8 million of them, all of us to kill it, from the first 2 weeks of October. We can manage that. We've got this, people. The standard reward for that will be a 25% legendary vendor sale from October 17th to the 21st, with stretch goals of a Honeybeast icon, a Vault-Tec Flamer skin, and the discount from the legendary vendor sale being 50% instead of 25%. If we can get that 50% discount on legendary items from the purveyor, that'd be amazing. Especially if you could still sell them back at normal rates, that'd be incredible. Anyhow, that is it. This is going to be like a 25-minute long video. I do apologise it's quite so long, but there was so much stuff to go over. Actually, one minor thing I'm going to add at the end. Wastelanders comes in November. I had a recent video thinking it might be October. I was wrong there. They've clarified it is definitely November it's coming out. So all of this is happening before Wastelanders. Anyhow, hope this was helpful. Links are in the description. You want to support me? Patreon's linked in there as well. I've also got a Discord, Twitter, Facebook. Apparently I've got a Snapchat, but I'd never use it. I don't have a smartphone. All of that good stuff. Thank you all very much for watching. Sarge out.